Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for this tutorial because I'm getting to test out a brand new product for an Amazon company. This is a heat press for tumblers, and as you know, one of my latest tutorials I did some felt freshy shims, and I talked about how I really did not care to get into sublimation too much, but really that's because I knew that there were lots of things that could come along with it. If you make a mistake on an epoxy tumbler, which is what I mostly work with, then you can strip that tumbler and you can start over. You can't necessarily remove a sublimation image off of a tumbler, but of course, if those do mess up, I can use those for my epoxy tumblers. So there is some benefits to making sublimation tumblers as well as epoxy, because you get two different price ranges, two different qualities for your customer, and if by chance you do mess up, then you can just use those sublimation tumblers, sand them down really well, and use them for epoxy. So when this company reached out to me and said that they had some new products on the way and asked me to test it out, I was 100% yes, I would love to try this out for you. So here we have our heat press. I did open it already, but we are going to unbox it together and we're going to test it out. So this is like the one and only time y'all get to see the mess surrounding my my recording area. Don't judge, and believe me, I moved a lot out of camera view. So okay, so first off, this is boxed really well. We have some directions and troubleshooting on top, and oh wow, it has actually come with sublimation paper, our tape that we need, heat resistant gloves, looks like some extra fuses. So the only thing so far, in addition to purchasing this heat press or this mug press, would be a printer, because it comes with all of your other things. A printer and of course a tumbler. But most of the time you can get those from your local craft store. If you don't already have some, or don't grab some from Tipsy Magnolia, which is what we are going to use today. We're hooked. All right, I had y'all way up there. I'm gonna zoom in since we have now unboxed this. All right, so first off, it is a little heavy, which is really good because you want this to be sturdy whenever you're opening and closing it. Looks like you do have to put the handle on here. We're gonna pop this handle on, and then we're gonna plug it up and make a tumbler. From the looks of it, I believe that this listing is shown as a 20-ounce tumbler press, but we're gonna be using a 24-ounce plump from Tipsy Magnolia, and it appears that it will actually fit the 32-ounce plump as well. I don't have one that does not have epoxy on hand, so I'll grab one of my strip cups just for reference, and we're gonna check and see if that will fit too. So here is our sublimation tumbler we're going to be using today. there's plenty of room on the top and bottom. You want to make sure that there's a tiny little bit of extra on top and on bottom of your tumblers. If not, you can center it up. And again, this is just one that I have in my strip pile, but this is a 32-ounce plump from the Steel Magnolia, and it also fits. So you can do anywhere from, we actually have the 16-ounce from Tipsy Magnolia. Keep in mind, this is just for reference, but this is a 12-ounce koozie. All of these will fit in here. So really any of the sublimation tumblers from Tipsy Magnolia are going to work in this. I use a lot of Tipsy Magnolia. They're former the Steel Magnolia. So just in case y'all need some new high quality tumblers to use in a heat press, they absolutely have them and they are extremely good quality. So let's get this plugged in. Somewhere. Here we go. Right here on the front. All right, so now that we have our press all set up, it's time to print out our image on our sublimation paper. You'll find out here in just a few that I did ruin the first cup. We were going to use a 24-ounce plump from the Tipsy Magnolia. I did, and I completely fried it. I cooked it too long and too hot. So after reaching out for some help, we got things worked out, and I will be using a 12-ounce koozie. However, it is not yet listed on the Tipsy Magnolia website. They are former the Steel Magnolia. That used to be one of their sublimation items, and I know it will be coming soon, but for now they do have the 24-ounce plump on there for sublimation. So of course I'm going to go over to Creative Fabrica, which is my absolute favorite place to search first for any images that I'd like. I just typed in floral mug wrap. Since we are using a shorter tumbler, I knew that I would be able to resize that to fit the 12-ounce koozie. I first used an American flag image since we do have the 4th of July coming up soon, but there's no harm done because I just pay my monthly $9 subscription fee to Creative Fabrica. Everything that I download aside from that subscription fee is free. So there was no harm done to the wallet in not being able to use this image on the shorter tumbler. So if you don't have Creative Fabrica, absolutely give it a try. I'll have a link down below that gives you your first 10 downloads for free, or the first month, whichever comes first. No strings attached. You can cancel at any time before that trial ends and not be charged that $9, but I guarantee you are going to love it and it's going to save you a lot of money on files. I am doing all of this from my phone. I downloaded this image from Creative Fabrica, saved it to my photos, and then opened it using the Print to Size app. This is my favorite app to print off any image that I'm not going to be using my print to cut feature on. So anything that is sublimation or that I'm going to cut out by hand, I always use my Print to Size app. It's my favorite. It is taking me quite a while to get this resized because I wanted to make sure that I did have it perfect. You want to go a little bit over what your height of your tumbler is going to be and just a hair longer. Or if you can get a precise exact dimensions, absolutely do that as well so that you will have a seamless design. If you do have any wording, don't forget to invert your image so it's not going to come out backwards once you sublimate this onto your tumbler. So after I have my image resized, I am going to hit that little print button down in the corner, and rather than printing from the app itself, I'm going to select export to PDF, and then that will pull up my phone's printer settings in which I can change it to best quality and to photo glossy paper. This has printed the best for me. And if you don't have an iPhone, I'm sorry. Hopefully the settings are pretty similar on whatever device you do have. So first I am just going to trim this so it fits around this tumbler perfectly. We're going to tape it off, and then I'm going to show you the correct settings to sublimate a stainless tumbler, and I'll also have all of the other correct temperatures and suggested times down below, just in case you do get your hands on this mug press. Okay, so let's just trim off the top and the bottom here. I'm not going to go all the way. Well, just kidding. I did. I was going to leave a little extra, but apparently I'm not. Well then. All right, I'm cutting that right on the edge. I'm gonna spin this around the tumbler, and then I'm gonna mark off where it overlaps, and I'm gonna trim it there as well, because we want this to line up just perfectly. Okay. These glitter specks off there. Okay. Go ahead and grab you some of your sublimation tape. So it did come with sublimation tape, but I can't find it because my craft room is a disaster. So we're just going to use my tape that I already had. As soon as I find my scissors. We got the kids' scissors. Never fails, right? They're fine. It's fine. All right, let's get this lined up. We're gonna pull that really snug around the tumbler. All right, then we're gonna put a piece of tape down through here. I'm gonna make a really snug ring, and then we will flip this over so it kind of goes around that top edge and the bottom as well. If you don't get this really snug around the top and that folded over, you can get what's called ghosting, which the design won't go all the way to the top and it'll kind of look like it's faded up towards the rim and the bottom rim. So once I have that snug all the way around, I'm gonna pull my tape pretty snug around the rim. See, it's like halfway on the cup, halfway around the rim. That way we have some tape over the edge that I can press down on the inner side of the cup, and it's gonna fold that edge over really snug. Just like this. And then we're gonna do the same thing over the bottom as well. We go. All right, so let's get our press. All right, I'm gonna adjust the inside to fit this cup before we preheat, just so it will be sized correctly. We're just gonna loosen up these things on the side to make it a little bit bigger inside. It's not going to cover the cup all the way, but we are going to spin it midway. So we'll make sure we're heating all sides. You want this to fit snug, but you don't want it to be so tight that you can't snap this without worrying about snapping your fingers. That's gonna fit in there good and snug. That's maybe even still a little too tight. Let's loosen that up. There we go. All right, I'm gonna seal this back up and to preheat for a stainless steel mug. Okay, I am going to set it, I'm gonna turn it on first. Set the temperature to 180, which is this mid, and then our time is gonna be at 100. Once this is ready, it's gonna beep. This is gonna stop flashing and be solid, and then we will put in our tumbler. All right, y'all. We are to temperature. It did beep to let me know, and this has went from blinking to solid. Once we put our tumbler in, I am going to press the start button so that it begins the countdown, and then halfway through, we are going to open this up, spin our tumbler, and pop it back in. I'm gonna place this face down for the seam, just so I know where that is whenever I flip it. There we go. And start. Once you hit the start button, then this will begin to blink. All right, I have counted to 50. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. Open it up. Give it a spin all the way around. Place that back in here. And start again until it beeps. All right, we have beeped. I'm going to turn this off so it is no longer heating. Carefully open this up. Grab the tumbler out. This is going to be really hot, so make sure that you do have your gloves on, or you let it to fully cool before you take it off without gloves. Trying to get a hold of a good part of it. There we go. That turned out so pretty. All right, y'all, so that pretty much sums it up for this tumbler press. I really do like the way that it performs, especially after I reached out to the helpline and figured out the perfect settings for all different styles of tumblers or coffee mugs, whatever you're working with, and it worked perfectly. I do like the fact that it has this, I think it's rubber something, it's hot, I'm not gonna touch it, but I like that whenever you adjust these things on the side or on the back side, it helps adjust that and you can get it just snug enough to where it really hugs the edges of your tumblers and helps prevent that ghosting even further than adding that tape on here. Because we got a really clean line around the bottom. It's nice and straight. It even got the bottom side just a bit there, and it looks great around the top as well. Colors look great, and of course, once again, after I reached out for help, I'm glad that this only has a few heat settings and time settings on it. I feel that if there was a wide range of temperatures that I could set it to, I would probably get that incorrect, have to do a lot of research, but they have it simplified and have that worked out to, you know, pretty much each material that you're going to work with. There's a set, hey, this is exactly what works for that, and it's going to work for you. So if y'all have any questions, just let me know. I'll have a link for our tumbler press, all materials, and of course the beautiful image that I got from Creative Fabrica. All of that will be linked down below for y'all. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments and I will answer them to the best of my ability. That is all for today. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.